Killian
by Edward and Vidyut.
Once upon a time, in the land of the enchanted, a great curse was cast by the ever-so-evil Maleficent. It was a curse that would send everyone who vexed her to the mortal plane, where there was no dragons, no ogres, and last but not least, no pirates. But there was one pirate in particular whose story was indeed connected to this curse. He was the only one who wasn't affected by it, and that's because he wasn't even in the land of the enchanted when it was being cast. For he was in another plane of existence, the Dark World, Neverland. But to understand his being there, you must first understand his origin story. Young Killian Jones and his brother James were the captains of the Jolly Roger, a ship in the 1st Regiment of the Royal Navy of Wish Realm. The ship was originally called the Pegasus because it had a set of special sails that allowed it to fly. One fateful day, the king had a special potion called Dreamshade. Legend had it that the Dreamshade could heal any wound, let it be mental or physical. The king assigned his most trusted captains, Killian and James, with finding this mystic artifact. It resided upon the land of Neverland. The king gave them 3 magic beans to aid them in interdimensional travel. They were to be used to open portals. When Killian and his brother arrived in Neverland, they saw a young teenager roaming the island. They were flabbergasted when they saw such a young boy walking about without supervision.
Are you lost?
No, we are here by order of the king. What is your name?
I'm Pan. Peter Pan. I live here.
We are looking for a plant, Dreamshade. We need it for the king.
You must have a ruthless, bloodthirsty king. It's a toxic poison.
Killian, he is lying. You cannot trust him. Okay then, James. I trust you.
Why fight a bloody battle when you can wipe out a whole civilization with the sap of one plant?
Killian was starting to doubt the stories he had heard about the island. First the odd skull-shaped island that they had seen on their voyage, and then a stray teenager who happens to be wandering around the most dangerous place in the universe. As they ventured further into the depths of the island, things only got stranger. They saw more and more boys, just randomly roaming around, wearing cult attire. Maybe it was a cult. The brothers had no way of knowing. Their thoughts were running in circles. Finally, they reached their destination, the top of the waterfall. The plant, Dreamshade, was beyond arm's reach through a thorn bush. James drew his sword and started making his way through the bush, cutting all the branches as he went. And in an island with such an evil resonance, too, he approached the brothers. Stop! What if that boy was right? What if the Dreamshade really is poison? Stuttered Killian. What? That's garbage. Don't be so gullible, replied James. Are you sure? I'll be fine, Killian. With that, James reached the other end of the thorn bush and snagged the vial. Hurrah! He shouted with glee. Killian still did not know whether to celebrate or to continue to worry. James slipped back with ease. However, he had a slight scratch on his arm from a thorn. At the time, he thought it was nothing. Killian was still, however, wary about the island and what it held. But right when they boarded the Pegasus, the boy who had warned them appeared once again.
You cannot leave this island with that cut or you will die.
James, what do we do? Get off my ship. The boy's icy stare froze Killian. I won't ask twice.
Okay, but remember my words.
With that, he disappeared in the gust of wind. James, your arm! His arm was growing pale and dark. The thorn.
Did I tell you my name is Peter?
The brothers looked back.
Peter Pan.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me, said James. James then quickly collapsed, and Killian shook his body.
I warned you, but you didn't believe me.
Please heal him. I'm sorry about the stubbornness. He's my brother. He is all I have left.
The plant I warned you about is very toxic. If it reaches the heart, you'll surely die. You can heal him, though. The water here is filled with magic. But you must know, the one who drinks the water is forever stuck on the island, unless you're willing to suffer the consequence.
Killian, without thinking twice, got the water and gave it to James.
All magic has a price.
Brother, you're alive! That's captain to you. Boy, what do you want? Peter Pan had vanished, and James thought nothing of the boy. He went to board their boat back to the king to deliver the plant and water. As James stepped foot off the island and onto a ship, he instantly turned to dust. It was the end of James. That horrified Killian tried to flee with Dreamshade, but before he could, Pan and the lost boys surrounded him.
If you don't tell the king about this place and you poison him, I'll grant your heart's greatest desires, though I cannot heal the dead.
Taking this into consideration, Killian nodded and went away. He wanted his brother back. The trip back was stormy, and alone on the ship, he felt the desire to kill the king, and he could become the greatest pirate or become a king himself. After some hours, he decided the latter, and he could be the king of many kingdoms if he was a pirate. As he left the island, his voice suddenly changed as well. "Thank you," said the king. As the king ate the plant, he slowly felt poisoned and realized James was missing. "Where is James?" "He died of eating dreamshade." "Why didn't you warn me?" "I thought he just had an allergy. He's allergic to many plants and berries," Killian lied. "You traitor! I banish you!" "Traitor! I banish you!" "As you wish, but you will be poisoned and only I will know how to heal you." "Get out!" When Killian left the kingdom, Pan arrived and put pixie dust on him, and the Pegasus ship became his own, and thousands of pirates followed him. "I didn't lie any time here," Pan said, sounding especially sneaky. "I trust you, Pan. Thank you."
No, thank you. Good luck. Don't get too drunk on the rum.
He renamed the Pegasus to the Jolly Roger and summoned about 20 pirates to be his crew. He was now more fearsome than Jack Sparrow and Blackbeard combined. He had all that he wanted for as long as he could think. Before Killian could speak a word, Pan vanished. On board there was a book.
Quite some years passed by before Killian developed PTSD from loss of his brother. After thinking long and hard, he had got the idea to kill Pan. If he killed him, he would have all his magic abilities and be the ruler of Neverland. Then he could bend the space and time and kill his brother. He had pirates on and a ship. What's the harm, he thought. Meanwhile, in Neverland, Pan told his lost boys to work on getting the wood for the fire and make arrows and swords. Pan then zoomed to the first dimension to find abandoned children with his flute. Only children who felt unwanted or abandoned could hear the panpipe flute. Gathering 20 people, he went back and brainwashed them under the spell. Pan played his tune to the 5 kids who couldn't hear and sent them back. Externally, he felt Killian go back to the island and the Pegasus had docked. He knew that the people had come for not a friendly reason. "Boys, quick! Get the weapons! We're under attack!" Quickly, the Lost Boys got a sword, a quiver, and a bow, and hid in the trees. They hid for only mere minutes before the pirates came onto the land. The boys quickly killed many pirates before they jumped out with their swords and killed the rest. All the pirates fled, but Killian didn't. He jumped up and went to attack Peter Pan. "Why, you're back for trouble, Killian. I want my brother back, and I want your kingdom." "Ha! Funny. You brought a step foot off the island, and now he is gone. No amount of magic can heal him. And you don't realize the island's space and time in reality is all bent around me. If I die, the land disappears, and you will be in the final dimension of time and light." "You liar! My brother can be healed, and the island existed before you." "Indeed it has. You know, the shadow has given me this island, and I've made it so it wraps all the way around me." "Stop talking, you time-wasting coward! Draw your sword and fight!" "Have it your way. I'm not lying. I proved myself before." "Catch this arrow!" "Fool, you don't know how many arrows I've catched, and plus, you can't kill me. There's only one force that will ever be able to do that, and that is me!"
The battle went on for dozens of minutes when Pan finally went full offense. He knew Killian had battled in pixie dust because he couldn't immobilize him. "Ah! You weak child! Go home! You are unfit to fight me. Villains don't get happy endings,"
he said, and used his enchanted wand with the dagger of the Dark One and blasted Pan. Pan was able to quickly clone himself and teleport away, but the deed was done in Killian's eyes, he thought. He thought he had killed Pan, and with that he hoisted the sail on the Jolly Roger and flew away. Pan had at the time tied up his captive pirates, brainwashed them to be lost boys, and vaporized the dead. That sea dog doesn't know what's going to happen. The end, we think.